What is the primary function of the muscular system?
Enable movement.
How many major types of muscles are found in the human body?
3.
Which muscle type is attached to bones?
Skeletal muscle.
Which muscle type is involuntary and found in the walls of internal organs?
Smooth muscle.
Which muscle is found only in the heart?
Cardiac muscle.
Which muscle type is under voluntary control?
Skeletal muscle.
Which muscle type is striated but involuntary?
Cardiac muscle.
Which muscle type lacks striations?
Smooth muscle.
Which tissue connects muscle to bone?
Tendon.
Which tissue connects bone to bone?
Ligament.
What is the functional unit responsible for muscle contraction?
Sarcomere.
Which proteins play the major role in muscle contraction?
Actin and myosin.
Which ion is essential for muscle contraction?
Calcium.
Which energy molecule directly powers muscle contraction?
ATP.
Which organelle provides ATP for muscle cells?
Mitochondria.
Which muscle type contracts the fastest?
Skeletal muscle.
Which muscle type is resistant to fatigue?
Cardiac muscle.
The involuntary movement of food through the digestive tract is called?
Peristalsis.
Peristalsis is mainly performed by which muscle type?
Smooth muscle.
Which is the largest muscle in the human body?
Gluteus maximus.
Which muscle is popularly known as the calf muscle?
Gastrocnemius.
Which muscle is responsible for flexing the forearm?
Biceps brachii.
Which muscle is responsible for extending the forearm?
Triceps brachii.
Which broad muscle covers the chest?
Pectoralis major.
Which muscle separates the thoracic cavity from the abdominal cavity and plays a major role in breathing?
Diaphragm.
Which muscle is known as the muscle of facial expression?
Facial muscles.
Which muscle is primarily responsible for chewing?
Masseter.
Which muscle forms the shoulder?
Deltoid.
Which muscle is commonly called the six-pack muscle?
Rectus abdominis.
Which is the broadest muscle of the back?
Latissimus dorsi.
Which muscle helps in breathing by moving the rib cage?
Intercostal muscles.
Which muscle is the chief muscle of inspiration?
Diaphragm.
Which muscle is located at the front of the thigh?
Quadriceps femoris.
Which muscles are located at the back of the thigh?
Hamstrings.
Which muscle extends the knee joint?
Quadriceps femoris.
Which muscle flexes the knee joint?
Hamstrings.
Which muscle is responsible for plantar flexion of the foot?
Gastrocnemius.
Which muscle helps raise the arm sideways?
Deltoid.
Which muscle is responsible for shrugging the shoulders?
Trapezius.
Muscle fatigue mainly occurs due to the temporary accumulation of which substance?
Lactic acid.
Which process supplies oxygen to muscles during exercise?
Respiration.
Which blood cells transport oxygen to muscles?
Red blood cells.
Which mineral is essential for normal muscle contraction?
Calcium.
Which electrolyte is important for nerve impulses and muscle contraction?
Sodium and potassium.
Which vitamin deficiency may lead to muscle weakness?
Vitamin D.
Which disease is characterized by progressive muscle weakness due to genetic causes?
Muscular dystrophy.
Which condition is an involuntary painful contraction of muscles?
Muscle cramp.
A strain is an injury to which structure?
Muscle or tendon.
A sprain is an injury to which structure?
Ligament.
Regular physical exercise primarily improves which property of muscles?
Strength, endurance and flexibility.
What is the smallest functional unit of a skeletal muscle?
Sarcomere.
Which protein forms the thin filament in a muscle fiber?
Actin.
Which protein forms the thick filament in a muscle fiber?
Myosin.
Which structure stores calcium ions in muscle cells?
Sarcoplasmic reticulum.
Which cell organelle is commonly called the powerhouse of muscle cells?
Mitochondria.
What is the membrane surrounding a muscle fiber called?
Sarcolemma.
What is the cytoplasm of a muscle cell called?
Sarcoplasm.
A bundle of muscle fibers is known as a
Fascicle.
which connective tissue surrounds an individual muscle fiber?
Endomysium.
Which connective tissue surrounds an entire muscle?
Epimysium.
Which connective tissue surrounds a fascicle?
Perimysium.
Muscle contraction begins when which ion binds to troponin?
Calcium.
Which molecule directly supplies energy for muscle contraction?
ATP.
Which process explains muscle contraction?
Sliding filament theory.
During muscle contraction, which filaments slide over each other?
Actin and myosin.
Which band becomes shorter during muscle contraction?
H-zone.
Which band remains nearly constant in length during muscle contraction?
A band.
What is the junction between a motor neuron and a muscle fiber called?
Neuromuscular junction.
Which neurotransmitter stimulates skeletal muscle contraction?
Acetylcholine.
Which nervous system controls voluntary skeletal muscles?
Somatic nervous system.
Which type of muscle fibers are most resistant to fatigue?
Slow oxidative fibers.
Which type of muscle fibers produces the greatest force quickly?
Fast glycolytic fibers.
Which pigment stores oxygen in muscle cells?
Myoglobin.
Myoglobin is mainly found in which tissue?
Muscle.
Which type of exercise is most effective for increasing muscle strength?
Resistance training.
Which muscle protein binds calcium ions to initiate contraction?
Troponin.
Which protein blocks the binding sites on actin in a relaxed muscle?
Tropomyosin.
The point where two bones meet is called a
Joint.
Which type of muscle is present in the walls of blood vessels?
Smooth muscle.
The muscular wall of the heart is known as?
Myocardium.
Which muscle contracts continuously throughout life without fatigue under normal conditions?
Cardiac muscle.
Which type of muscle contains intercalated discs?
Cardiac muscle.
Intercalated discs are characteristic of which muscle?
Cardiac muscle.
Which muscles help maintain body posture?
Skeletal muscles.
The movement of food through the esophagus is mainly due to?
Peristalsis.
The diaphragm is primarily involved in which process?
Breathing.
Which muscle assists the diaphragm during normal breathing?
Intercostal muscles.
Which muscle is antagonistic to the biceps brachii?
Triceps brachii.
Biceps brachii and triceps brachii are examples of
Antagonistic muscles.
which type of contraction occurs when muscle length does not change but tension increases?
Isometric.
Which type of contraction involves shortening of the muscle while producing movement?
Isotonic.
Which mineral deficiency commonly causes muscle cramps?
Calcium.
Which electrolyte imbalance is commonly associated with muscle weakness?
Potassium imbalance.
Which vitamin is essential for proper muscle and nerve function because it supports calcium absorption?
Vitamin D.
The involuntary contraction of a muscle due to overstimulation is called?
Spasm.
Which condition is characterized by degeneration and weakness of skeletal muscles due to inherited mutations?
Muscular dystrophy.
Myasthenia gravis primarily affects communication between
Nerve and muscle.
which muscle is primarily responsible for closing the jaw during chewing?
Masseter.
Which facial muscle closes the eyelids?
Orbicularis oculi.
Which facial muscle is responsible for closing and protruding the lips?
Orbicularis oris.